week 3, everyone. Also, happy 4th of July week. We have mini cupcake hamburgers. I love mini things. It's gonna be great. And we have, as always, our little cookie. Remember to tag us and share your videos and pictures. I want to see what all my little camper cookies are doing all the time. And I am so excited for this kit. Oh, I can't wait. Hey guys. So you picked up your burger kit today, but if you don't have time to do it just yet, that's totally fine. Put it in the fridge, the entire box, and it can last in there about 5 days, and then take it out an hour before you want to do it. Let's go through this week's cake kit. We have our vanilla mini cupcakes. These are going to be our hamburger buns, the top and the bottom. And then we have our Cocoa Rice Crispy patties. These are literally amazing. Can't wait to eat them. We have some fudge icing. Remember in week 1 when we did our barbecue cookie set? It's going to be kind of the same concept with the fudge as the meat, and then we have the sprinkles to go on the outside of the meat. We have some nonpareil sesame seeds for the top of the hamburgers. We have some tomato red icing, some green lettuce icing. We have some fondant we're gonna make a cheese square out of, and then some cornstarch to help you roll out the fondant. First, what we're gonna do, we have our mini cupcakes. And we are going to cut these in half with our butter knife so it could be the top and the bottom bun. So we're going to go ahead and cut all of these. You're going to put them on their side with your knife, and you're just going to cut straight into the cupcake. Have a nice top and bottom. Then we're going to keep them separated. So I'm going to put all my bottoms here and all my tops up here. So let's just cut all these puppies in half. Trying to cut them as even as possible. You don't want the cupcake to be slanted. See how this one is kind of cut on an angle? You don't want that. You want it to be as nice and even and straight as possible. I ran out of room, so I'm just going to put the extra 3 down here. Buns cut in the box. And we are going to set them over here. We're going to unwrap our hamburger patties. These are chocolate rice crispy patties. These Cocoa Krispies, marshmallow, some butter, and they are just delicious. Go ahead. They might be a little sticky. It is marshmallow, so if you can't get them out, just kind of cut them a little bit. They already cut, but the marshmallow makes it sticky. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to just make all of them individual patties. Separate them all first. Try not to break them. Each little patty. Alright. We're going to set these right next to our hamburger buns. Now that we have all of our buns and patties in set, we are going to take our lettuce, and this is going to act as our glue for our patty to sit on the bottom of our bun. So I'm actually gonna cut this kind of in a V formation, just like that. So we're gonna cut away from us. You're gonna cut one side, and then you're gonna turn the piping bag towards you, just like that, and you're gonna cut the other side. So it's gonna look like an arrow. So that's basically what you're looking for. And this will just give it a different kind of a shape. It'll kind of give it more of a leafy shape. I'm gonna take my little buns. I'm just gonna put a little bit in here. And you're just gonna kind of give it a lettucey looking feel. So I'm just literally moving the piping bag in and out and in and out. Just like that. You don't need much in the middle because the patty is going to sit on top of that. And so now we have our lettuce. I'm going to go through and I'm going to pipe the rest of my buns. Just like so. It's easier for you to pipe them on the table. That is totally fine. I'm actually going to get another plate. Since I need a little bit more room, so I'm going to move my top buns over here. Just so my bottom buns don't run into each other. Set these aside. Now I have a little bit more room so my lettuce doesn't have to run into each other. So if it's easier for you to ice it on the table, that's totally fine. All you have to do is just ice one side and then move it around and then ice the other side and move it. All you're looking for, nothing has to be perfect, just a little leafy looking texture, and then a little bit in the middle. And we're going to set that aside. It's easier for me to hold it, so I'm going to hold it. And that's okay if that happens, because that's why we have our wet towel, so we can wipe off any extras. And then, like it never happened. Don't be afraid to get your hands a little dirty. Baking isn't clean. It's a little messy and fun. That's why I like it. So we go ahead, do our leaves. Just like that. Looking really nice. You get some buttercream on you, it's okay, just wipe it off. Only want to do it on the edge because the patty doesn't need a lot of buttercream to sit on. And we're going to have a lot of fudge icing in there too, and tomato icing. Want to be nice and balanced. There we go. Couple more to go. Alrighty. Oop, little piece of cake though. Mighty leafy. Alright, last one. Make this one look extra pretty. Alrighty. And there is our lettuce. We finished our lettuce, and now we're going to move on to our burger patties. So here I have a little plate right here, and I'm gonna just put all of my chocolate sprinkles out just like this. A nice little row. We're gonna end up rolling it in there. I'm gonna take my fudge icing. I'm gonna cut a small hole. You don't want it too big. Just enough. About that big. So I'm gonna take my patty, and we're only gonna ice the sides of it because that's where we're gonna roll it. It's gonna go like this. I might actually make my hole a little bit bigger. Just gonna ice it all the way around. Let's see how this looks. You're gonna take your patty and you're just gonna roll it into the sprinkles. Kind of looks like patty. Look at that. Now we're going to add this onto one of our cupcakes. Set that right on top. And there's half of our cupcake. Now we're going to just do that to the rest of our burgers. There we go. Make sure they're nice and even in the middle. And we're going to roll. You make sure you're getting all of them in there, nice and packed in so they don't fall off. I'm just going to keep building our mini cupcake burgers. Once again, we're using my favorite icing, fudge. It's literally the bomb. And I'm so excited to eat my burgers. I love me some fudge. Oh, they look so good. If you see here, it's not a lot of icing that's going on the outside. You don't need a lot. If you use too much, we're not going to have enough for the rest of the burgers. So just be careful on how much you're using. You don't want a naked patty. Ever so slightly, so I can get an even coating of fudge. Always pushing my sprinkles back into the middle so my burger can be evenly coated in the sprinkles. Just like so. Push and roll. Push and roll. I love chocolate. Anything chocolate. I've been a chocoholic for my entire life. I am a sucker for chocolate. These are right up my alley. Yep. I'm just gonna push my fudge down towards the end of my bag. Make it a little easier for it to pipe out. Song. Next up, we're gonna make our cheese. So this is fondant. This is what we use in the bakery to make all the cool details that you see on cakes. It's basically a sugary Play-Doh. It has the same texture as Play-Doh, except this is edible. Play-Doh is not. Don't eat Play-Doh. It tastes really gross. I've done it before. It's very salty. So we're gonna turn this into cheese. We need to knead it first, but actually we need to put some cornstarch down first. So cornstarch, which we provided, helps the fondant to not stick to the surface. So I don't have a flat surface up here, so I'm using a baking sheet flipped over, but you can totally use your countertops for this. Those are definitely gonna be nice and flat. So you're gonna take a little bit of the cornstarch and we're gonna put it down, just a little bit, you don't need a lot. And then you're gonna knead the fondant. So you're basically going to be flipping it and then turning it, and then flipping it and then turning it. So I'm gonna use my hands. I'm just gonna flip and turn it, and flip and turn it. And this helps get it nice and pliable so we can roll it out and make it into our little cheese slices, right? So I'm gonna roll it into a ball. And then I'm actually going to kind of form it into a square. So whenever I'm cutting things out, if I want it to be a square in the end, I always try and start with a square because that just makes it a lot easier. Instead of cutting a square out of a circle, you're trying to cut a square from a square. So we're just gonna form it into a little square. We'll put a little bit more cornstarch down. We're gonna put a little on top. And then at the bakery, we have rolling pins. If you have a rolling pin, you can totally use that. But if you don't, you can also use a can of soup. We have this corn kernel can, so I'm gonna be using that. Anything that's a cylinder and it's flat on one side that you can use to roll will definitely work extremely well. So we're gonna start with our square. You're gonna apply even pressure throughout, and then you're gonna turn it so the other flat side is like this. So we're gonna roll it as a square, basically. You don't wanna roll it this way or this way because that's gonna misshape the square. You always want it to be flat, flat, flat. So we're gonna roll this pretty thin. And the reason why we turn it also is because you're applying your pressure towards the middle. So the outsides are always gonna be thicker. So whenever you turn it, then that thickness can go and be the same thinness as the middle. So we always wanna turn it and be aware of where our thicker sides are versus our thinner sides. I just like to touch the fondant a little bit, and you can feel where it's thicker and where it's thinner. So I need a little bit more over here. And it's okay if you have little indentations in it, because we're just gonna flip it over and you won't even see that. Ready to roll. And see how it started to stick a little bit? So I need a little bit more cornstarch on here. It starts to stick underneath too. Don't be afraid to put a little bit more down. Don't want it to stick because then it's gonna rip and then we have to start all over again. And that is just no fun. All right, so I think I'm getting to the thickness that I am happy with. Maybe a little bit more over here. All right, I think that's pretty good. So this is about how thick thin my piece of fondant is. It's very thin, it's very even around each side. So now we're just gonna flip it over and look, all those striations are gone. It's like magic. Now we're gonna take our knife. If you have a ruler at home or something straight, you can put that on the fondant so you can cut a nice straight edge. I'm not gonna do that. Not everyone has rulers. I don't have a ruler at home. I don't know why, but I don't. So I'm just gonna kind of eyeball it. So I'm just gonna do one straight line down. And then I'm gonna flip it around because it's easier to make another straight line when you have a straight line to look at. So if you do it like this, it's harder to look over there, for me at least, to do that. I always flip it and then try and eyeball about how big I would need my cheese slices. So I think I'm gonna do them about that thick. And then an easy way to get the same width is to put that piece of fondant over top of your fondant and then cut it again. That way you have nice, even shapes. And I don't think that one's thick enough to make one. So we're gonna leave these two aside and we're gonna have to roll it back out and make some more slices. That's okay. So now we're just gonna square off these slices, just like so. And I'm gonna bring one of my little burgers over here. I'm gonna try and eyeball and see about how big I want my cheese. So I think my cheese slice should be about this big. See? You'll be able to see a little bit of the corners coming out. Let's put this guy back over here. And now that we have our template, we're going to just cut the rest of our cheese slices that big. And don't forget to square your second one off on either side. And use your template and start cutting your cheese slices. So we have 4 slices so far. Well, we have all of our cheese slices cut out. I cut one extra just in case, you never know. So now we're going to glue our little cheese on. So I'm taking some extra green lettuce and I'm just gonna do a little plop on top of each burger just so I make sure it sticks to the patty. So a little poop, don't need a lot. And now we're going to place our cheese on. Kind of make it look like it's melting. You just press the corners of the cheese down. Kind of make it look like it's melted on there. And there we go. I love cheese on my hamburgers. Cheese is also one of my great loves other than chocolate and fudge icing. Not together, of course, that'd be weird. Alright. There we go. All that cheese on there. Nice and cheesy. Alrighty. And then, you know, you can eat this if you want. It is sugar. It's tomato time! So we're gonna cut our piping bag. I'm gonna cut it. There we go. I'm gonna cut it about that much. I'm just gonna make small little circles so the tomatoes look like they're coming out of the burger. Do 4 tomatoes. We're just gonna do just a little kind of circular motion. You don't need a lot of icing, just a little bit, just so they're showing. Ooh. Well, that's a big tomato. Here we go. I'm not pressing down very hard either. It's just very light sprinkling of tomatoes. Just so people can see it. It could also be ketchup if you want it to be, but I like tomatoes. Gives it a nice freshness to the burger. Okay. just so the top bun is nice and secure on there. Now we're going to top our hamburgers. So we're gonna flip them over because it's nice and rounded on the top. And we're gonna just put the bun right on there. Oh my gosh, these are the cutest. Oh, I can't. They look just like mini hamburgers. Seriously, the cutest things I've ever made. I love mini things. I love to make tiny edible things. It's the coolest little thing when you can take something really big and make it into just a tiny little version. Now we have all of our patties topped. We're going to add our sesame seeds, our little white nonpareils. These are just going to stick on because the cake is a little bit moist on the top, so they'll just stick right on there, just a little bit. They might fly everywhere. That's okay though. Nonpareils have a mind of their own. Just make sure your mom doesn't see you when you're doing this, because she's not gonna want to pick them up. All right. Just a little bit more. Nice and seedy. All right. And there you have your mini cupcake hamburgers. They're the cutest things. I just want to eat all of these mini burgers. I mean, come on, look at these things. They are the cutest little sliders I've ever seen. And now I'm gonna eat one. Look at it, it's so cute. So good.